So, um, just to recap what's been going on during the week. So we had a little bit of a chat about portion sizing. David, you got over the portion sizing shocker that I dropped?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, yeah.
So we had a little bit of a chat about how to control portion sizing, some real simple things. I did send them over as well on the messages, but things like just trying to eat off of a slightly smaller plate. It's a really good one. And trying to slow down a little bit when you eat as well, just to try and enjoy the food a little bit more, but two, not to just kind of wolf it down, because there is that delay between the stomach telling the brain what's going on. So if you can slow down a little bit, it gives the brain a little bit of a chance to catch up. So there are a couple of things just to try. Has anyone tried any of them?
Trying to cut down portion sizes.
Yeah.
Okay, you'll have to let me know how you get on with it. I've
Right.
done.
I'll see you soon.
I've done that smaller plate option for quite a while, and it works really well for me. If I am hungry, I will just eat something a little bit later on. But as a whole, it tends to work quite well. The other thing we talked about is when you look at your plate is how to fill it with your protein, your veggies, your starches, or your carbs and your fats. I sent the template out, and there's obviously quite a few different ones on there. So it's not a case of just stick with one. I mean, if you want to stick with one, totally stick with one. But mixing it up a little bit. So, if you have a steak, you're probably going to stick with a protein, veggies, and, your fats. That's pretty much it, because you're already quite high in calories, quite calorific when you're eating a steak anyway. So just have a little play around with that. Has anyone been using the kind of portion plate guide yet? Has anyone given it a go?
No.
No?
I did try last night.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How did you find it?
It was all right. I just don't know if I'm actually eating enough protein in the day. I did send you a thing on message board.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm eating enough protein, because the last couple of days I felt really, I've looked at it, maybe I'm not eating enough, because I felt quite, not drained's not the right word, but I've been hungry a lot of the time.
I think you're probably in a slightly different situation as well, right? Because your work schedule's not changed.
No.
So your work schedule's not changed, but now obviously because it's online, you're kind of hitting more sessions than you usually would on a continuous basis, right?
Yes.
So I would potentially look at, we probably want to up your calories a little bit.
Right.
So especially if you're feeling hungry and drained, it's not a good sign. So I'll rejig, let me make a note to rejig your calories, because I think we are going to run into that, right? Nothing's changed for you apart from the fact that you're exercising a little bit more. So you are going to eat a little bit more from a calorie perspective. Definitely protein. You're probably not going to get much, or as much as you want to. Do you take protein powders or anything like that, Dave?
I have got it, but I haven't been doing that, and that was one of the questions I asked. Actually, should I include a protein shake? And B did a really great one on the chat today, and I thought, oh, that looks really, really good, because what I've been doing is been having doing the 6:30 session, not having anything before that, and then between the 6:30 and 9, I've been having a bagel and peanut butter. But actually, looking at that shake that B did today, I think I might actually have that instead.
Yeah, it does fill it up as well, so it's really nice.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, I would 100% get a protein shake in.
Right.
Just because, one, you've done a ton of exercise. Obviously, the muscles, when we exercise, the muscles tear slightly, right? So the whole point is that we want to get that protein into the body to help them repair. Repair quicker. It'll also help with your recovery, right? If you can get that protein in between those sessions. Because if you're just having the bagel with the peanut butter, we've got no real protein in there, Dave.
No, we haven't, have we?
I think you've taken note of Mark's diet then.
My hero.
The bagel peanut butter diet.
Can you do shake with yogurt in it rather than water?
Yeah, it's a good one.
because I find the water, I don't really like it, but the I mix up. I got one off Lucy, and it's a really nice. It's strawberries and cream, and I mix that with the 0% total yogurt, and then I put some berries in it and some spinach sometimes. But that really fills me up as well.
Yeah. And it's like getting the spinach in there is a great way to get your greens in, especially if you're like me, you don't like seeing them on a plate. Like it's just, you won't taste it, right? It'll just be in there because you've got your protein powder and everything else. You don't even taste it, so you won't notice that it's there. But Greek yogurt's a great way to kind of up the consistency as well. The other one is like if you use coconut milk or any of the other types of milks, that's another great way to do it. I don't ever have a protein shake with just water. I can't. There's no protein powder that tastes good enough for me to do that, I don't think. So it's a really, really good way to just mix it in a little bit more. And if you want a thicker consistency, but you don't want to add more calories or peanut butter or anything like that, just chuck an ice cube or two in, blend it up, and job's done. It's a really, really good way to thicken it up. Does that make sense, Dave?
Yeah, brilliant. Thanks so much.
Jen,
I would definitely, sorry, Joe.
all right, now go continue.
I was going to say, I would definitely get the protein shake in between the two classes that you're doing though, because that's your prime point that, one, you increase the risk of injury. Right. If you're not refueling and you are starting to feel tired, we want to make sure that that doesn't happen. But also, like I said, just to help the muscles repair that little bit quicker.
Brilliant. Yeah, great.
Go for it, Joe.
Katie. Really quick way, isn't it? I'm thinking eggs and egg whites. How many of those can we have a day? Because that's a really fast. You know, I don't want to spend ages cooking. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, like, so based off of the nutritional guide, egg whites are pretty much, you can use them as your protein source. So egg whites are pretty good. I'd need to let me double check how many egg whites would be in the rough protein palm guide thing, because off the top of my head, I don't actually know. That's a great way. Love egg whites. Especially when they're put into meringues.
Yeah.
Not the same protein content, I know.
The protein.
If only, right? The dream. So one of the things that we were going to talk about today was a little bit about what we can control. So one of the things that happens a lot in these kind of situations is we get quite anxious and stressed about what we can't control. So obviously we can't control what the government decides. We also can't control what other people are doing around us, right? So one of the main things to focus on, and it comes back into food as well, is being able to look at what you can control and focusing on that rather than external things that are nothing to do with us. So it comes into focusing a little bit on what our environmental factors are for when we're trying to eat healthier and just generally be a little bit better. So one of the things that I'd like you guys to focus on is really spend a little bit of time. I will summarize this and send this out. Spend a little bit of time thinking about your external environmental factors that you cannot control right now that may stress you out. But also have a little think about ones that you can control. So what's in your environment that you know you can control? Does that make sense to everyone? So if I was to say something as simple as, I can 100% control what I'm doing in the house because I do the cooking. So the environmental factor, I'm the person that cooks, I control all of that. I, however, cannot control whether or not I get all of the ingredients from a supermarket, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah. So
just weighing up what we can and we can't control fully to work out where we want to focus some of our effort. And it'll just give us a little bit of a way up onto where we are stress-wise with our environment as we stand right now. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah? It's not just something random that I'm asking you to do. It has an end goal. Don't worry, guys. So we're going to focus a little bit on kind of our environment, what's around us, how it impacts us, but what we can and can't control. Yeah?
Yeah.
Nina's got a great one. She can't control what her son eats. Right? It's a big environmental factor that has an impact on what she's doing. But obviously, she can't control that, but she can control what she's eating on it. So little things like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. So that's going to be your little bit of homework for the day. Just jot down your environmental factors which you can control. If you feel like you want to go a little bit extra, guys, just jot down how they also make you feel. Like if they make you anxious, if they make you nervous, if you feel pretty comfortable around that kind of stuff. If you want to go that little extra bit, but if not, don't worry, just get them jotted down. All right.
Do you want us to send it to you?
Yeah, you can do. Yeah, if you want to, and you want that accountability. If not, you're more than welcome to keep it very, very much to yourself and just let me know. But we will chat about it a little bit tomorrow as well. So we'll talk about some of the environmental factors that impact other people if they want to share them. So yeah, has anyone got any other questions for me?
I'm really sorry, Jen. I had a call from work.
That's right.
Bloody work.
I know, pain in the ass, isn't they?
So inconvenient, right?
Cutting in on our home working time.
Does anyone ever feel like that? When they're like, sometimes when Mark calls me, I'm like, I'm at home, and then I'm like, no, I'm working. So how's everyone been feeling this week anyway? Obviously, we're coming up to the end of the week. It's Thursday already. Is everyone feeling all right?
Yeah. My video.
Yeah.
I'm loving it. I'm an introvert. We're a family of introverts, so this is like the perfect thing for all of us,
A little bit like that in our house as well. Quite happy. Saw the neighbour run out yesterday to try and feed a duck that was walking up the road. We were like that. Why are they going outside? Get back in. No, everyone seems all right.
I think so. I've really struggled with I just not hit any of the targets with a 9 o'clock screen time, just for a variety of reasons.
Yeah, I think you're on call for quite a lot as well, Dave. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. I would just make sure before you're going to sleep, you try and kind of wind down a little bit from it. It's an important one for the white light kind of impacts the brain.
Right.
The body's natural rhythm is that you should wake up when it's daylight and you should go to sleep when it's dusk. That's the body's natural body clock, right? When you start bringing in artificial lights like the white light from phones and stuff like that later into the evening, you actually have quite a big knock-on effect on your sleep cycle and your body's natural cycle.
Right.
So it's just one, if you can, to try and focus on it. But just be aware as well, right? Being aware is actually probably more important than just saying, all right, I'll switch off at 9. If you're aware of what you're doing with your phone and your time and all of that kind of stuff, it's a good one. Has anyone found that they've been getting slightly better sleep, switching off their social media a little bit earlier on their phones?
It's been easier to fall asleep, I think.
Yeah.
And I'm getting time to read as well before I go to sleep, which is really nice.
Yeah, I've finished off the book.
Yeah,
I found it easier getting up for 6 o'clock class.
Yeah?
Yeah, I should be in bed by 9 then. Was it?
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. No, true. What about you, PT?
I'm in a terrible routine. My day starts at 10. How bad is that? My alarm goes off at 9. Well, my alarm actually goes off a bit earlier, and I end up putting snooze. And I think, why don't I just, I know I'm not going to get up. Why don't I just do it later? And I'm thinking, my boss is back in work next week. I'm going to have to get up earlier. She'll see me not online. And I'm really terrible, like putting my phone down at night. And last night, I like to watch a film, you see. Because everything, I get up later, and there's things that obviously have a knock-on effect to the evenings. And then I ended up watching, like last night, I ended up watching Netflix on my phone in bed. And it was such a sad film. I bawled my eyes out. And that didn't finish till about 1. And then 2:30, I'm still awake, like wide awake, thinking about this film. And it's happened to me before a long time ago, and I knew I shouldn't have done it because the film was going on in my mind about this death and this man who fell in love with someone who had no eye, couldn't see, she was blind. Oh,
God.
I think we need to work out how to get you to not take your phone to bed, PT.
I know.
Genuinely, I think one of the biggest things you could potentially do is just, when you go to bed, put the phone away.
Charge in another room.
Yeah.
Put it in
Very
another.
much rely on it to get me up at 9:45 in the morning.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that if you put it in another room, your stepdad might wake you up.
Yeah,
On the other side of the
turn the
room.
alarm up, and then you have to get up to turn it off.
I know.
Yeah.
I've actually done that before.
I'm as bad. I don't like
And then
getting-
I just go back to bed and then change it for later. I am just terrible.
I
It's
think
like
we need one target for you, PT. Next week, you're gonna have one day where you just get up when your alarm goes off.
Straight.
Oh my God, that's going to
At
kill
quarter
me.
to 10.
You're gonna tell me the time, and I will call you.
Lauren, I'll call you.
We'll all call you.
Okay, my tag it is, it's bank holiday Monday. Tuesday, my boss is back in work.
Yep.
So I'm going to get up at 8:15. Oh, I hope so. To have a shower, dress, and laptop on by 9.
All right. So, guys, we've all got PT's number in the WhatsApp group.
We'll just spam her on WhatsApp as well. They're like,
Exactly.
The other thing you could do, PT, is just drink quite a lot of water before you go to bed.
Oh, that ruins my night because I get for the pee.
But it depends how long you can go with a full bladder, really. But it will get you up early if you're going to bed at midnight. If you have a couple of pint glasses, you'll be up by 8.
I think I'll be up by 3.
And drink some more after you get up at 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got all
Okay,
this
that's
time
my
for you,
target.
PT.
You can do it. We
Don't
believe
stop.
in you.
Tiger King, because you won't.
Do you
be
know
able to
what though? I can do it. I mean, if I have to do it, I'll do it. But I know I don't have to do it, and that's the problem. I know I'm not going to get in shit for it.
You've just got to get into a routine. That's all.
I
Right?
think I did
I
the
know.
because I'm not working now because they furloughed me. But I used the thing you said, Jen, about putting a structure in. I've written that up on a.
Yeah.
It sounds stupid, but I've got like coffee time in and everything on the
Yeah.
whiteboard, but it works.
Yeah. Like I'm furloughed as well. I've been.
Otherwise, I'm all over the
job for 3
show.
weeks. Like, I
Yeah.
haven't had a job in 3 weeks, and I get up between like 8 and 7:30 every morning, except for Sundays.
Yeah. That's
Good
true.
Crazy.
I mean, like, I'm
Sundays,
still, I don't have to coach every 6:30 morning class, but I'm still pretty much up. My alarm goes off at 6, 6:15.
I keep that
I
routine.
Yeah, I get up, I'll do some of my admin, I'll do a couple of bits and pieces, then I'll train. Like, it's just trying to find, it comes back to kind of like what your ideal day looks like, right, PT?
Yeah,
We
it
need
was
to work
that.
out what your ideal day looks
Do you
like.
remember what it looks like, Jen?
I can dig it out for you. But we need to try and kind of stick to as close to that as we can and start moving towards that, which I like. Even if you know you don't have to do that, you know it's going to make you feel better if you do. So I think it's just one, like, spend a couple of days next week trying to get to that ideal point and work towards it just for one day, maybe 2. See how you go, and if you feel great after doing it for one day, then hopefully you'll want to do it again and again and again.
I think it helps with the food as well, because even that's on it. So try to steer away from snacking, to have that on the schedule. So I'll put that in.
We're going to get to the point where Sandra doesn't buy any Kit Kats.
I don't think that'll happen.
It's snacking talk tomorrow, isn't it, Jen?
Yeah, we're going to have another little chat about snacking again.
Oh,
Oh,
Oh. Sounds like we need to have a little talk about snacking again, guys.
We do.
My boyfriend has been keeping me very on point. Like, I open the fridge and he's like, what are you doing?
That's what I'm missing. A boyfriend.
Yeah. And then, like, the other day I had my phone, like, I went to bed and it was after 9 and I picked my phone up and went on Instagram and he was like, no, pick up your
Wow. I love it.
good. He's
phone.
good.
But then he's on his phone and I'm just like,
I think we I don't know if that'll help PT though. PT's like, nah.
It does really work though.
You know what? Early this week, I put my phone on charge. I went to work, different room to work, and I left it for a couple of hours, which is really good for me.
That's impressive.
Good job.
Nice, PT.
Yeah.
Did you feel good for it?
But that sounds ridiculous to some, but actually, I've normally got my work phone and my phone together.
Yeah. Do you feel
next to
good though
me.
for like not having like something constantly going off and distracting you?
Yeah, it didn't bother me, to be honest.
Yeah, good though.
Mind you, I went to a CrossFit comp up north a couple of years ago, and I forgot my phone in the box because we took off from like the gym, and we were on the motorway somewhere, and I said to Ross and Ellie, like, I haven't got my phone. So I went whole weekend. I found out it was actually left on the box in the gym, and the first day I was like, shit, it just felt really weird, and I was more concerned about my mother would have sent like a police or a search party out to me because she would have So my priority was to get, of course I don't know my mother's number, don't I? So I was giving Aaron a code to my phone to get into my phone. I trust Aaron, so he had the code to my phone. And do you know what, by second day I was absolutely fine.
Yeah, it's honestly, it's just when you actually switch off from social media and all of that, it's actually quite a refreshing thing, because
It's quite liberating.
Yeah, because Lee's not on Facebook or anything like that. He literally just uses WhatsApp, and he was saying I was chatting to him about it, and he was saying exactly the same thing. So it's just there's no distractions, there's no noise around it, and pointless noise as well. So like if you can, like, it's a really good thing to do. Like, not being so reliant on your phone is actually really, really good.
Yeah, agreed.
Especially while we're in lockdown, like so much stuff, like, you know, the people that need to get hold of you are pretty much in the same house as you for the most of us. And if they need something, they can, you know, if it's important, people will call. So you know then to pick up the phone. You don't necessarily need to just keep flicking through and going through everything all the time.
I put some groups on WhatsApp on mute though.
Oh yeah, big time.
So I don't like check it all the time.
That's what I do with our coaches group. Once those guys are on a roll, they're on a roll, I'm telling you. So tomorrow we will have a little bit more of a chat about snacking and things we can do to get better at snacking, penciling in snacking, how to snack better or not snack at all if we need to, how to ration wine gums and Kit Kats. We will...
Can you factor in how to stop baking? I've got like 200 years of the Country Women's Association behind me, and I just, you know, bake for the neighbours, bake for the elderly, bake for my kids.
We might need to find you another hobby, Jo. But yeah, we'll have a little chat about that as well, because obviously we'll revisit the boredom part of it, because a lot of the snacking and doing that kind of stuff is around boredom. I've tried not to bake because I would do exactly that. If I'm bored, I bake, then I eat, and then I eat, and then I eat. So we'll have a little revisit of that. And just for today, guys, just keep focusing on what we've been doing and have a little think about what's going on in your environment, which will help us in prep for the additional snack talk tomorrow. Yeah?
Thanks, Jen.
No worries.
Thank you.
I will speak to you guys later. Have a good one.
Take care.
Bye.
See you later.
Good one.
Bye.
Bye.